everyone, and welcome to Comic Issue, or no, sorry, I've already messed up and we're only 30 seconds in. Hello, and welcome to Comic Channel's Origin, where I am interviewing comic book YouTube content creators about how and what they do to create their YouTube channel about comic books, why they do it, and all that, and how they grow it. And today I am interviewing what's on the comic rack, or otherwise known as Mr. Akin. So let me bring Mr. Akin in. Hello, Mr. Akin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Pretty good. Alabama won this weekend. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, roll.
All right. And for those of y'all that don't know, Mr. Akin and myself are actually fairly logistically or close to each other.
We are.
And about, what, 50 miles away?
50 miles away. Yeah. I'm what, 40 miles away from Pensacola?
I'm about 40 also. By the crow flies, we're probably about 50 miles away from each other.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, we're really, really close. I'm sure at some point in time we have crossed paths in Pensacola.
Yeah, probably. At a local comic shop and didn't know it.
And did not even know it. Exactly.
All right. Well, you know what this type of show is. We're talking about how and why you started your comic book YouTube channel. The whole premise behind this, I want to learn how other comic book YouTube creators, what they do, how they do it, and how they've gone about growing their channel and things like that. And so we can also help out those other people that might have some questions. Maybe we can answer them. Maybe they'll stump us. They probably will.
They probably will.
Yeah. But yes. Do you have anything you want to add or anything before we get started?
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
No.
I think I have all your information across the bottom of the screen. I don't know if it got your YouTube link and your Instagram. So
this is the first time I've used Restream.
Okay.
So I'm not familiar. I don't know if anybody's in the chat or not. I think I clicked over here on the side where it said chat. I don't see
it. It says we have one person watching, but they have no comments yet. So
okay.
But yes, I'm using this because it's actually cheaper than StreamYard.
So let's talk about that first.
Go ahead.
I mean, does it give you more people that you can have on here?
Well, on the free, I'm using the free version still. It does up to myself and 5 other people at one time. So it's not the 10, but I have unlimited streaming that I can do on the free version.
Okay.
Which I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe StreamYard has dropped it down to where you only get like 5 hours a month on the free version.
Really?
And I think that's why our mutual YouTube friend, 22 Comics, has, if you notice, he's gone over to OBS and doing it. He's been going through some growing pains on trying to get his process down again.
Yes.
So because he's not using StreamYard anymore. So Brian LCS in here. Hello, Brian.
Hello, Brian. How are you? How's all the tallying going? I think that's over with now. Voting.
Yeah, I think I saw Brian posted a Instagram post saying that the voting was over or closed. So he's got to get those results ready for Nate and Hagen,
yes,
who are going to be the hosts of the Comic Book Community Awards. And we got Otaka Mike.
I just got through watching his video about Ollie's, and we have an Ollie's here where I live now.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't have to drive all the way to Pensacola to go into an Ollie's anymore. But I haven't had a chance to stop by ours yet. Ours opened this past Thursday, October the 9th.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to going in there. The reason I didn't go by there today, I didn't realize that they're open 7 days a week.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. So
they got a lot of good trade paperbacks in there, other stuff. I mean, it's a lot of cool, interesting stuff in there.
Now, you've done a lot of going to Ollie's and then seeing what you could get as far as the single issues, the floppies. How has that been? really going for you, or have you stopped doing that and kind of gone for the trades instead?
No, I have a whole short box full of like packs for future content that I still got to uh, do videos on. So, yep.
Yes, you did. Someone did say that.
So no, I have a good bit of always packs that's still open.
Okay.
So
I'm kind of curious to see what this one, since it's a brand new one and they
right.
just opened it up. I'm kind of curious to see, and I think I'll probably get a chance to go by there either Monday or Tuesday afternoon to see what they got. I got a choice. I can go and do that or tomorrow afternoon, or I can cut the grass one more time because it's
All right.
getting to the point where you don't have to cut it like every single week. So it's not like a jungle out there. We're getting to that season where it's slowing down, to where it's not, one of those things where you have to do it every week.
Well, I think you'd rather go to Ollie's.
Yeah, I'd rather go to Ollie's.
I mean, it also the Ollie's packs also make pretty good content for videos going forward.
And do we want to talk about that? Does that seem to be your biggest thing? Because I don't do very many unboxings.
Right.
I don't do very many. Like, I will get something from somebody, but I'll go ahead and open it up. And the reason why is I want to make sure I've got some pertinent information. Go
Go
to
to
Ollie's.
Ollie's. The grass can wait. No, I do.
Go ahead.
I think it's more if you're going to do an unboxing. I think it's better to do it on camera sometimes because then your reaction is that you're capturing your authentic reaction.
Right.
So if you're disappointed, you can actually be disappointed, or if you're happy, you can be very happy about it. I mean, I know some of my last Always packs, I got an Omega Men #1
Mm-hmm.
out of it. #4 didn't get a #3, but you got a #1, #4.
I'm wondering if there are major keys in there like that.
I wouldn't say major. You might get, I mean, you might get a $5 book out of there.
Okay. From your
I,
experience, and that's what I'm wondering. I keep watching them, and I'm wondering if somebody makes a mistake, because I realize all this gets put, and some of those people that are probably handling these things, I'm not sure of the process of it getting from wherever it's at, the warehouse, wherever it's coming from, to Ollie's. And I'm wondering if somebody makes a mistake that doesn't know anything about comics and goes, "Oh, well, this is a Bronze Age book. Here's another one, and here's a Hulk 181," and they're just chunking stuff in there, and they don't know what they're handling. Or do they have somebody that knows what they're handling, and they kind of go through it and say, "Hey, you can make more money doing something else with this before you put it in an Ollie's pack or something."
I would I would say it probably could happen. I mean, stuff could probably slip through, but I mean, it's probably going to be your dollar bin books is pretty
Mhm.
much what it'll be in there. But it's always fun. I mean, there's some cool covers in there and stuff like that.
Right.
So, and you never know, there might be some Iron Man in there. So,
Every the one time, well, I've been to Ollie's twice, the one over in Pensacola, Florida, and what I've picked up out of there seemed to be there was a lot of Batman in
yeah,
there, and they were good. Some of them were good reads, some of them weren't as good a reads, and I think I read most of those since I'm not a Batman collector, and then I put those suckers on eBay, and I think they sold. At least I got my money back out of
right.
them. So, it's a good read. Hey, I read them, then I can put them on eBay and get my money back out of them, and it's a free read.
I think I've sold a few of those also on Whatnot. Just recycled them through Whatnot, and they sold pretty quick.
Do you think those unboxings are the best thing that gets the most views on your channel?
Uh, they have. I mean, it seems to be. I mean, I have not. I've only had a few videos that have broken the 1,000
Mm-hmm.
view count. one of them did really well. I think Lifetime has over 10,000 views, but it was a scam video. We're talking about when I got scammed buying something online, and it was a CGC book that I was buying, and it hit right before the whole CGC slab where they were taking the inner wells out of the slab. So it caught the YouTube algorithm and just kind of blew up. And I was like, what the hell is going on?
I remember that video, and I didn't realize. I guess I saw it early. I didn't realize over the lifetime it got 10,000.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Yeah, it got up to like 10,000 or so, but then I know somebody that I need to have on because I'm very curious. As I think he's a friend of Lunch Money's, and Lunch Money is going to be my guest next week.
Oh,
but it's his friend Philip of a Comic Box or Philabox Comics.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen him or anything, but he's pretty new, and he's been having some very good videos that have already broken 1,000 and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, it's weird how the algorithm does.
Yeah. Okay, Mark. One thing I do know is that if you're going to buy it online, buy it through something that has some buyer protection. Because I got scammed, but I got my money back, and I got a nice picture of Annie Oakley.
Hey, I remember that.
Yeah, because I was trying to buy that one in a CGC, and it did not turn out well. I was like, this is too good to be true, and it was. But I think some of the other ones on my channel that have gone really, or that have had some longevity and continue to get views, and I really do need to capitalize on it and make some more, would be my Comics to Cash series, where I actually talk about the behind or the analytics and stuff like that about selling like comic books through Whatnot and stuff like that. And I mean, I guess people actually are interested in it.
Yeah.
Want to know like what the breakdown is. If you sell it for $1, how much do you get to take home and stuff like that.
Right.
So it seemed like it had a little bit of headway there. And thank you for that, Up and Adam. John Burns, smash the like button, please. It seems like these people might know you, Mr. Akin.
Yeah, I think they do know me. They know me very well.
Well, let's let them get to know you a little bit better, and let's ask you some questions about your comic book YouTube channel.
Okay.
So what inspired you to start your YouTube channel, and what was your very first video?
The very first video and what inspired me were really the same thing. About 2.5 years ago, if you know this channel, it's Alex the Comic Hoarder. You know, yes. Alex the Comic Hoarder. He put out a video, and it was entitled "Show Your Top 5 Comics in Your Collection." And I remember him saying in the video specifically, he says, "Listen, if you've got a camera, if you've got a phone, you too can make a YouTube video." And I was like, okay, I'll just make a YouTube video. And it's almost like YouTube is an extension of this hobby. You've probably gotten into this hobby because you're watching YouTube. I'm a YouTube almost junkie. The only other thing I watch on TV, and we were discussing that a while ago, is football. In fact, football's on right now. My wife says, soon as football comes on, I want it on the TV until February. And she misses it when it's gone in February. So that's the only thing that's on TV. So most of the other entertainment I'm getting is I'm watching YouTube. And I started watching comic book YouTube because I had a collection. I was still reading comics at that time. I'd never really stopped reading. And it's just the collecting part was the side. I started watching things like comic book investments.
Okay.
Reggie collects, but I didn't realize that I was at the tail end of the bubble. And people, are making all this money off of comics. And I'm like, well, hey, let's see what I've got in my collection. And at that time, I was primarily a reader. I was the only reason I even had boxes and comics in the bags is because I thought that would be an easy way for me to store it so I can go and read them again. Um, I didn't think they were going to have any value at all, even though, even in the 80s, you could still see those Mile High Comics ads in the middle of the comics, and you've got people selling comics. I didn't think these things were going to be worth anything. And I'm not saying my collection's worth that much to begin with, because most of my stuff was from 1980 to about 2000. And the reason it waned in 2000 is in 1998, that's when I started teaching.
Okay.
And I didn't have as much disposable time as I had between 1980 and 2000 or 1998. I had a lot more disposable time. I was reading a lot more. By 1998, I was taking work home, grading, doing those kind of things. So I didn't have as much. But yeah, I was watching those, and he put out that video saying, hey, you too can make, a YouTube video. I made a video and just went from there.
Hey, Jason, how are you doing? So did you always know that, or I guess, did you always think that once you got into YouTube, it was going to be just about comic books, or is there anything else that might interest you?
Well, my two primary hobbies are comic books, reading, and now collecting them. But what I was really watching a lot of on YouTube was role-playing stuff,
Okay.
meaning Dungeons and Dragons, D&D type videos where you're learning about how to pace the game. It's all about the game, DMing the game. And there are a few channels that I still watch with them. But another thing I found with YouTube, especially once I started doing it myself, and plus I was just curious about it, because one of the things I do now is I'm a virtual school teacher.
Okay.
And some of the kids, they were always talking about that's what they wanted to do for a living. Oh, I'm going to be a gamer on YouTube and I'm going to make a lot of money. And I was just kind of curious, for me to be able to talk to them on that level. I said, well, let me get into it and let me do it and see what it's really all about. It's sort of like, you still listen to popular music, so they're not saying something and you have no clue what they're talking about. You got to be up on the hip stuff. And so they were talking a lot about that. And I said, Alex Comic Quarter kind of put out this challenge. He says it's easy. Let me see how easy it is. And it's not necessarily as easy as he says it is.
Careful there, Mark. Careful. Next year, Mark's gonna be cosplaying at Heroes Con.
It's a lot more work than people think it is. People think, yes, there are those people that can get on and have the personality and the charisma to get on and just talk it up and create a following for themselves and just blow up. But you also have to be in certain areas of the YouTube sphere to be able to do that. And ours is a very niche subset of YouTube. There's very few, you can look at some of these channels, the big channels. Oh, this channel's got, 250,000, subs,
Right.
And that's like the biggest one that's on comic books. But then you go to something like D&D, they have millions and they can get 250 views on one video. So yes, we are fellow John Byrne aficionados.
So do any of your students know that you're a YouTuber? Just curious.
Yes, some of them do. Some of them found out about it. And so I don't think any of them subbed, but this year was the first year I really advertised it. At the beginning of the year, the principal was looking for ways for us to connect virtually with the students because we're in a virtual environment. So yes, they do come to our locations and take tests, and we do have some interaction with some of them, but there's a large percentage out there that don't see our face,
Right.
don't hear our voice unless you make videos. And that's one thing I was doing. And yes, when you asked, have I ever made another YouTube channel? Yes, I'd actually started. I have a YouTube channel that's about math, that I make my math videos. And that was a easy way to store those videos instead of using my computer to store them, or the what we use to dispense our information in at school. I was like, this is a great way for me to just put these videos, and they're going to pay for all the storage.
Right.
And the only thing I have to do is put a link for my kids. Hey, I want you to watch, completing the square. Hey, I want you to watch this. And I just put a link, and then they can watch me do those things. And so, yes, I started off by doing a YouTube channel about math.
Okay.
The only people that have access to it are probably my students. I don't think anybody else has ever watched any of the stuff. So it looks like, oh, you've got a lot of views. Well, that's because I'm making my kids go and watch those instructional videos on that. And so I had some idea about YouTube, and then when Alex the Comic Order put out that challenge, I said, well, let's try a comic book YouTube. Let's see, what this is all about. And like I said, I feel like it's just an extension of the hobby. I think once people get into and collecting it, another aspect, like some people get into pressing comics.
Right.
I'm not into pressing comics, but some people don't get into the YouTube aspect of it. And I feel like that's just an extension of the hobby.
Yeah. So on your on your math YouTube channel, the average view duration is a little skewed since they're forced to watch it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This one will get 300 views and a couple, all of a sudden I'm like, my normal channel doesn't get that many views, but it's also kind of nice. I don't get a lot of views, and I haven't put a lot of effort into my channel, to be honest. I did it as an experiment. I did it also to learn some video editing. I learned a whole lot about sound, about video editing from just an iMovie editor. I don't have
Right.
like a fancy editor. All of a sudden I'm watching other YouTube channels about video editing, and that to me, that's the secret about. I'm sitting here thinking about teachers. To me, I'm obsolete. If you want to learn something, you just go to YouTube. If you want to learn
Right.
I need to change my starter in my car, go to YouTube. You got somebody that's going to teach you how to do that. If you want to learn some math, you can go to YouTube and it'll teach you. If you want to learn some video editing, go to YouTube. It'll teach you. And that's I started another path of stuff to watch on YouTube, really, of all this video editing and stuff.
So when you made your first video, were you nervous about doing it?
A little bit, but like I said, I think I was more nervous about showing my face. More so than I've already gotten over the fact that I cannot stand the sound of my own voice. I had to listen to it for 20 years teaching. So I'm kind of over that, and I still don't like it. I've always thought that if I could find some type of voiceover that still conveys emotion, because to me, a lot of the voiceover software now sounds still robotic.
Right.
It's not giving you the emotion that a normal human voice will give you, or their inflection. I have tried to do that on my math channel. There's this one piece of software that changes your voice into Conway's Batman from the animated series.
Okay.
And I would be doing some of my stuff. I'd be showing kids how to solve a problem, and it would be in Conway's voice as Batman. So just to give it something different. So it's one of those things of changing things up. So was I a little nervous? Yes. I also want things. Got this bad habit of wanting things to be perfect, and you have to get over that really, really quick. You just kind of just throw stuff out there, and
Yeah, done is better than perfect.
yes, if you notice my earlier videos, there's a lot more of my face in the earlier videos because I've kind of switched to
Jambo style.
Jambo style, showing the book because you really don't want to see my face. You're there to see the books, and so I kind of switched to that. Plus, I hate glare, and that's another reason I kind of switched to that. I can take the book out of the bag and I can put it on the stand, and it doesn't have as much glare on it. Of course, you're going to have some glare because I don't have good lighting down here.
Right.
I've learned a lot about lighting, and I don't have good lighting where I'm at in this room. But it's better than having having it up and showing it like this, and there's just so much glare. I can't stand it. So I started doing that. There's another reason I do that. After watching your your interview with Dave from Still 35 Cents,
Yeah.
I was always impressed about his knowledge. He's looking straight at the camera and he's got a wealth of knowledge he's spewing out. Now he's telling me, "Oh, you've got a teleprompter." I'm like, "Okay, I can see how that would help with what you're going to say and how you're going to structure things."
Right.
So I have a low tech teleprompter. What I'm doing is I'm setting that book up, and above it, I got a piece of paper and I got some bullet points of stuff I want to say about this. And so that's a low tech teleprompter in a sense that you're not seeing me. I'm putting the book there, I'm putting that up. I can talk about that book, hit the bullet points I want to hit about it. I can transition, I can cut and
Right.
go to the next one, flip the paper, read off of that, okay, how do I want to say what I want to say, put some bullet points and do the next one. Because a lot of times the way you cut it, you can't see. I mean, somebody that does video editing can see that I'm cutting from book to book,
Right.
flipping it and that kind of thing. But that's my low tech teleprompter.
How long does it take you to do the editing?
For that, it doesn't take me long. It really takes me longer to get my thoughts about what I want to say. And I noticed that at the very beginning, I'm not very good at long-winded stuff because you would think as a math teacher, I'm going to be long-winded, but I'm the math teacher that let's get to what we need to do and let's get it done. And I noticed that I started doing that with my comics. I was hitting what I wanted to hit, artist, writer, blah, blah, blah. And I was like really quick and it's done. And my videos weren't hitting 20 minutes. And really, according to the algorithm or the way when I was starting to learn about the algorithm,
Yeah.
20 minutes is the sweet spot, right around in there. That's what they want. So they can put a lot of ads in there if you're at the point of making money and being monetized. And I just had a hard time getting to 20 minutes because I was too short and quick with my stuff and concise. That
Yeah, it also comes to I think it probably the 20-minute is probably a golden standard to do, especially when the average view duration is around 20 to 30%. It's pretty good. So if you are doing a 20-minute video and you got, well, you're the math teacher, I'm going to put you on the spot here. So if you got a 20-minute video and you get 30% of it, how many minutes do you get?
3. Let's see, 10, see 30%. That's what? 6 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. So 6 minutes of watch time per viewer will get you a lot faster to your 3,000 or 4,000 hours needed. So that's probably why they're saying to do the 20 minutes is another good mark, because then your average or then your per video duration is probably a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. He said he did the same thing. I looked at his teleprompter once I saw he talked about that teleprompter.
Yeah.
It's not that expensive. I'm like, it's in this folder I have of things I would like to have. And what's the future for my channel? Well, if you notice, I haven't been putting out a lot of stuff. And the reason I haven't been putting out a lot of stuff is I have a lot more family obligations than when I first started the channel. When I first started the channel, I had a lot of free time.
Mhm.
way more free time than I do now. And so I was able to put in a lot of time and effort. Big B McFly helped me a lot. I think that's one of the things once we get to talking about what you should do is I would say find a mentor, somebody that you can talk with that's been around for a while. Get friends with them. That way you can bounce questions off of them about, hey, what'd you do in this situation? What'd you do in that? And I didn't realize he hadn't been doing it very long when I started. But I was bouncing ideas off of him. And that's when we were talking about, learning the algorithm or trying to figure out the algorithm
Right.
because you really never figure it out. And we were talking about the 20 minutes thing and those kind of things. So being consistent, putting out something on a certain day, every day at the same time. Um, and then we were talking with other people about whether or not you should do shorts or not do shorts. If you're going to do long form, then you shouldn't do shorts. If you do shorts, you shouldn't do long form. It was at that time, and I don't know if things have changed now because I really haven't gotten into it. It was almost like you had to pick one or the other. So to kind of answer his question, I'm in the process of putting things in the can. If I do get a chance to do something, I'll make a video and it's hopefully an evergreen video. It's not time sensitive. It's not something I have to put out like now.
Right.
It's like a video series. And the video series that I'm working on right now is, comic books from 1982 in my collection, 10
Right.
books. And then I do the next one from 1983. And it has a little pop culture thing in there about talking about music at the time, TV shows at the time, movies at the time. And then I move into the comic books. So I would love to get 12 of those done and get some more in the can. And then I'm going to do a real push to try to I'd like to get to 1,000 without having to promote. Because I know you can promote and get to 1,000 and pay for a promotion and get to 1,000, but I'd like to get it to 1,000 on my own. And
Mhm.
so at some point in time, I'm going to have all that ready and I'm going to start putting out stuff on a regular basis and have it there. And
Because we should become accountability coaches to each other because I'm sure that we're pretty close to each other on our metrics. You think you got like 540 something subscribers, and I'm right at like 568. I think is where I'm at. Watch hours, I don't know. I'm like really bad on watch hours. I got like 448 for the year.
and I was talking with 22 about that, and I figured which one was it? He had a bunch of watch hours, but not as many subscribers, or one way or the other. And I think you get most of your watch hours from live.
Yeah, I know that he does.
And
I think I've seen
Dave said, I recently learned that you need shorts alongside to support your long form. I guess we can ask Dave this. What's the time frame in between do you think is the best time frame to put forth something? Let's say you've gotten to where you post on Fridays every day, but you want to put in some more content like a short. Do you need to wait 3 days? Do you need to not put too much content within a week, like posting twice a week? See what I'm saying? Long form content. You need
I
like a
know I know that like I listen to podcasts about YouTube and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And one of the things they talked about and something was that if you're going to try to substitute a short or to complement a long, you have to do like 8 shorts to equal what a long would do for you.
Okay.
So something along that line on the schedule. I think the shorts are more for like you just getting it out there so you're seeing more and more and more. Uh, that's what Dave said. Oh, he
24 to
does
30.
it. So I guess Dave is doing shorts clips from his longs. So he's using, I think he told me he uses a tool called Opus Clip.
Mhm.
So he uses that to then cut out clips.
And he's using the shorts to boost his long form, meaning it's complementary to his long form content. And at the very beginning, I wasn't doing that.
Uh, I know that I don't know if you know this or not or seen it, but I've been doing a daily show
Hmm.
uh, in the mornings, and I mean that's a lot of work. And I'm low teching the crap out of the teleprompting thing. I got I got two monitors going on, so I got my laptop open in front of my big monitor, and my big monitor I have a second screen open that I'm putting the guest to the channel or to the video on there, so I can see the chat. Because trying to go through the chat, go to the captions and all that, because you can't have two windows on that side. It's got to be one or the other. So I have that, and then I have the camera right above the Word document. So I'm reading my script and making it try not to look like I'm doing da 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 da.
Yes.
So it's a very low key way until I get a teleprompter, and then
Hmm.
I might go through something like that. But um, an idea that I had with that is to try to I was thinking to make a YouTube short about what the headlines would be for my stories and post that a couple of minutes before I go live. So,
Hmm.
because a YouTube short gets a lot of feed really quick, it gets pushed out really quick into the feed. So, if it can
Yeah.
go live before the short or before the live stream goes live, and then they see that my icon says live, maybe they'll click on it. It was just an idea I have. I haven't had the chance to fully try it out yet.
Right.
But
One of the things I wanted to do, he also asked what else in the future. So I've got that, which will be, you know, showing off comics in my collection. But I also want to do stuff like Ralph's Retro Comics, his channel. His is shot off really quick, but what he does is a pure informational type situation where he still shows some of his comics,
right,
but he does a lot of research and gets a specific topic. And so that's what I'm kind of looking at. I'm trying to write down some things that may need to do some research that are going to be showing images, other things, but I need a really longer script about what's going on. For instance, one of the things was John Byrne did in Alpha Flight number 6. There are a bunch of white panels. What's going on is they're fighting in a snowstorm. You can't see anything, so it's just blank panels with wording and word bubbles and what do you call it when the sound effects of fighting.
right,
And I read in the letters page, and I don't know who did the letters page, that he actually got the idea from What If number 32, which has a white panel. It says white tiger fighting Iceman in a snowstorm. It's just a blank white, panel, and that's kind of where he got that. So, kind of doing a little informational thing about that, about something that you don't see on other people's channels. And that's hard, trying to find something that somebody else hadn't done. Because what I'll do is I'll write down an idea and then I start doing the research, and then you find like 12 videos of somebody that's already done that. And it's kind of hard to do those, because if you go to like Comic Storian, there's so much informational stuff and they do such a great job of that.
right,
I'd really love to do something like that, but those are really labor intensive videos where you got to do the research, you got to set the stuff up. And like somebody said earlier, um, sometimes editing takes a long time and sometimes it doesn't.
right,
If you do it enough, it gets quicker. But you're right. Sometimes I'll get bogged down in the way something looks. It could be just a thumbnail. I
right,
know I can use AI to do the thumbnail for me, but sometimes I enjoy doing the thumbnails and I will get bogged down. And the next thing I know, 2 hours have gone by and I'm still just working on a thumbnail. I'm like, where did the time go? Because
yeah,
I'm manipulating. Well, what about this picture? Let's see how I can manipulate this picture and stuff. So It's about time management also, and all of these all of these endeavors.
What is Ralph's channel name? JSS, or do you know?
It's Ralph's Retro
Oh,
Comics,
okay.
I think. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Um, Looking back, would you change anything about how you've launched your channel?
Yes. I would I would do a lot. I would have some videos in the can like I'm kind of doing now.
Okay.
And that way because life's going to happen, you and you can't make a video that week, you've got something to put in that spot. Um Ralph's Retro Comics. You've got something to put in that spot. Um because you're also going to have to deal with burnout. At some point in time, everybody in the YouTube sphere, if they're making content, they're going to reach a point where they're going to get burnt out on something, or they don't feel like making a video that week. And
Right.
if you've got it in the can, you got, oh, well, here's something I can put in that spot. I think I would also, for me, set up like different thing. I'd set up 4 different things per month, meaning, okay, this week it's going to be an interview. Okay, next week's going to be a long form of something that's a series of things that that's going to be the whole year. That I got 12 videos to upload about that.
He dropped
And,
the link.
at the end of the month, I could also do something where it says, hey, here's what I got for the end of the month, as far as here's my pickups for the month, those kind of things. And I think I would do that way. That way I'm not doing the exact same thing, because I think to be popular, to get it to grow, is you've got to do different things. You've got to have unboxings. I think you've got to have live streams, whether it's an interview or a show. But I wouldn't do too much, because I see other people, I've been watching it long enough to see, ooh, so and so's doing it more and more and more. I said there's going to be a bubble. The bubble's going to burst on them doing stuff. You can't do something on Monday night and then Tuesday night and then Wednesday night and then Friday night and then Saturday and then Sunday. And I'm like, it's just too much. You get sucked in. It's like me wanting to watch everybody's channel. I can't do that. Actually got a list, and I go, I'm going to cycle now. I've got to cycle through my list. And so if you've noticed that I haven't maybe been commenting on your stuff as much, it's because I'm cycling through people's videos, because you can't watch everything.
Right.
It's impossible. And so watching it and making it, I would start over by having a lot of stuff in the can ready to go. And plus, once you start making some videos, you kind of see what your niche is going to be, in a sense. Do I want to go to the informative part? Do I want to go with the investment part? Do I want to do both and have like, ooh, I'm going to do investment this week, and next week I'm going to do informative, and that kind of thing. You can switch things up and see exactly what you want to do, because really in the end, this is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to
Right.
have a good time. It's not supposed to be work. And you can, if you start in a channel and you can put some in a can, you can see whether or not where your schedule is going to be. Meaning, oh, I can put time aside this week and I can get it done. Like, what's the shortest amount of time you can get a video edited and ready to go, and then put up like, okay, now I need to devote, I can only need to devote 2 hours this week, and I can put a video out a week. Once you start making them and have them in a can, you get quicker. And that way you hopefully will stop some burnout
Yeah.
kind of situation.
I know that the reason why I do the 2 types of live streams that I do, this particular show and then the Comic Issues Daily, is because it's a little bit different than what I've seen a lot of other people do. Because this particular one, we're not bringing out any comic books. Granted, we have comics in the background,
Yeah,
but
there's some in the background.
I'm not asking you to show me what's your most prized book. It's about your YouTube journey.
Right.
and that. And then my morning show is more about headlines in the news from the day before.
Mhm.
So it's not a new comic book day video. It's not, which I mean, those are great, but everybody's getting the same new comic books.
Yeah.
So,
I started to do some lives. I did 2 lives, and on both of those lives, my internet went out. And I'm like, "Okay, let me stop and let me
well,
figure
I
out
know,
exactly."
I know one of the first things I learned doing the live was to don't count on Wi-Fi, plug the computer straight into the router,
Okay.
right? Because you never know when the Wi-Fi signal will go out.
Yeah, and the router is sitting right there, so, yes, I could
Oh,
plug it in,
yeah, no,
it
I
would
literally
be
had my Wi-Fi router right next to my computer, and it still was lagging on me.
yeah.
So, but yeah,
I
plug it directly in your computer. That would help a lot.
I know that the very first one I did, with Stevie D. My internet went out, but everybody still thought it was funny because Steve then started playing the trumpet because it was just him. He was just left all by himself to get it done. And I thought I may have a neat title. I guess that's another thing. Once you start one of these series, it's good to have a title and a theme so that you know what to go back to, and you can go back to that same thing like you're doing here with, okay, here's my theme. I can get in the mindset of, here's what we're going to talk about and here's what we're going to do. We're not going to be showing books. We're going to be talking about YouTube itself.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's definitely a growing process. I think live streams do help out mainly because it's no editing.
that, and that I think that's the great thing about interviews, is that you don't have to edit anything. You just kind of go. But the next thing is, if you're just interviewing, pretty soon you're going to run out. I've watched other interview channels and I've seen them kind of fade because I guess they ran out of people to interview. None of them have ever said it's been hard to get somebody to come on.
Right.
It's just that they run out of people, I guess. I guess they're trying to get somebody new every single time. But to me, I would rotate back through some of those people because if it's been a year, hey, what's going on with you now? Like you said, what's going on with your channel? What's going on with your collection? What's going
Yeah.
on with anything? It seems like you could rotate those people out. And
And like say a year from now when you're at 3,000 subscribers, and that I mean people will want to know, how did you do it? How
yes,
did Mr. Akin do it?
I
So
think it's going to be consistency. I think once I start to push the channel, I think it's going to be consistency about putting out every Friday. You know, if you want to know how I got 80% of my subscribers, it's from shorts. For a long time, I was putting out, long form content. And then Bigby was saying, hey, let's do some shorts. And I started doing some shorts. And I know one of your questions was, what really hit off? It was shorts. All of a sudden, like you said, you put out the right video at the right time. There may be a movie, whatever it was. Well, at the time, the Spider-Verse was Into the Spider-Verse was coming out. And I had made some shorts just showing Spider-Man 2099 comics.
right.
And all of a sudden, those things are getting thousands of views. And I just do another one and I get thousands of views, and you're getting, 5, 10 subs per short. And then I quit doing shorts. I don't know why I quit doing shorts, but I know some people, that's all they do is shorts, is they don't do anything like Manny, the Hobgoblin collector. I don't think he does very much long form content. I think most of his stuff is shorts. So
I know I know back when before Superman came out and they had the previews or the trailers, there were show or channels that were getting like thousands of views just by doing their reaction video to like that. That's a video all in of itself, that if you can master how to do reaction videos to trailer without getting copyright strikes,
yes.
that would be very impressive. And because they were, I mean, these are channels I hadn't really seen, but then they're popping into the algorithm because YouTube's going to say, oh, you'll like this because 30,000 other people liked it, so you should give it a try. So I'm
but
thinking about
getting those copyright strikes. That's the hard part. I'm not talking about that. I'm really not surprised that showing comics doesn't get you a copyright strike, in a sense, because if they're going to be petty on 6 seconds of music, when that's really, to me, promoting that album, to making people want to go out, why aren't they, why aren't Marvel and DC pushing this? Well, we got all these people, I guess because we're not big. I guess if we were getting 250 views per thing, I guess then they're going, oh, we need a piece of that. You're using our product. I realize you bought it, but we own the copyright to that character. You're getting a lot of money off of it. I think they would probably go after some of us just for showing comics if we were getting 200.
Okay, but with that being said, I really don't think there's a lot of us that are getting a lot of money off of YouTube yet.
No, and that's what I'm saying. If we were, I think they would probably come after us. I know Marvel's petty enough to do that, that they would probably come after you. Go, oh, well, we can make a little bit of. We want a piece of that pie that you've got over there. But like you said, we're not showing or getting 250,000 views per episode. So
yeah, we're not. That's for sure. So I guess you just covered a specific moment that you think your channel's taken off, and that's when you started doing some of the shorts.
Yes, I think more so than anything. And like JSS Brooklyn says, I think consistency is the most important thing. If you're not consistent, the algorithm's going to forget about you. That's kind of what we're doing with Mon Comics. I knew that Brandon wouldn't be able to make videos, and I've watched there's this one person that does role-playing game content. He really talks a lot about YouTube in that, about the algorithm, and and his thing was, in his research, if you're not consistent, it's not going to push you out anymore. It is going to forget you. The only people that are going to continue to get your stuff or watch your stuff are your true hardcore fans that want to know what you're doing and what you're showing off and what you've been doing. It's not going to push you to other people.
Right.
And that was one of the reasons we got together and said, hey, we need to make sure Brandon keeps getting content pushed out there so that the algorithm doesn't forget that he's there. Right. That, because as soon as it forgets you, you can start a death spiral, like he says. And this is especially for those people that are really big, 250,000, subs and views kind of thing. They can see a massive drop off if they don't consistently. So I'm sure the same percentage for us, whether it's 1,000 or 2,000 or even 100, I'm sure that if it's not consistent, it won't push it out. You won't get anything.
When it comes to subscribers, what I've learned is the only numbers that matter are 500 and 1,000.
Yes.
And just stay above those. Don't worry about getting, a silver play button be great, but don't worry about it, because once you hit those numbers, it's about the views and the watch time, not about, because if you are trying to get monetized, YouTube doesn't care how many subscribers you got, other than you got those two numbers, and then it's all about your watch times, because they can put ads against your watch time. They can't put ads on your subscriber count.
No.
Because I don't know if you've looked at your analytics, but on my videos, it's 85 to 90% new viewers and 15 to 10% returning viewers.
Yeah.
So
you've got those same people, and those same people will usually comment on your stuff. You've got those people that are showing up every single week if you're putting out something every single week, because they're interested in what you're doing. And it may be just the fact that they're just interested in you. Like, hey, what's my buddy over here? What did he pick up? What's he doing? Kind of thing.
Yeah, like Monday nights, I know to listen to Council of Comics around 7 o'clock my time, and then jump over to 22 Comics at 8. Still can't remember the name of his new show from what he changed the name to, but I do know that he's on at 8 o'clock on Monday nights. So
Yeah.
uh,
Kind of go back to what Dave said, hey, what are your channel, where your channel going in the future? I would just like to get to 1,000. It's one of those things that you say, well, hey, I've done it. Not because I even want to be monetized. It's now in the back of my mind. I'm like, well, hey, let me make some videos. Let me do a push here and let's see if I can just get to 1,000. Because after that, you're really, for me, I'm making those videos for those 25, 50 people that show up every single time that are
right.
really, watching the stuff and wanting to know, hey, what's Mr. Akin's up to after that? So yeah, at some point I want to do a big push to get to 1,000, but it's really not to get monetized. It's just really, can I do it? What is it? What they say, 8% of the YouTubers don't make it to 1,000. So it's almost like when Alex the Comic Order said, put the challenge out there. Oh, make a YouTube video. And now after I read that, I'm like, oh, here's another challenge. Let's just try to do that. And so yeah, at some point in time, once I get some more free time, I will probably do a push to be consistent and have like a year long push. It took me really a year to get about 500 subs. And since then, I really hadn't gotten that many because I'm not consistent. I'm not, putting things out every week. I just kind of make one every once in a while when I want to make
Yeah.
one. And I was like, hey, if I really go back again and push for another year with being consistent, I think I could probably get to 1,000. And then I'm like, okay, let's see what goes on from there.
Yeah, I think I've gotten like 20 new subscribers in the last 28 days or months.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been very consistent, especially with the live streams. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I did when I first did the daily show, I was trying to figure out when the best time to do that. My initial thought was like I'll do it in the evening at like 11:30 or so, like because I work late, come home, do it, and then it'll be on replay for the morning people to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But then I learned that YouTube, I mean, since so much is being loaded onto YouTube every minute,
Yes.
that the 8 hours that there is from when I went to bed to the next morning, that video is already down so far that's not going to be pushed. So then I moved it to the morning. I can catch some people doing their coffee routine and stuff like that. And then
Mm-hmm.
it'll just be in the rotation or queue for YouTube for the day. So,
Yes.
and it has seemed to get some traction.
And I think when I start back, that's what I'm going to do is probably go at an earlier time, because in the past I was putting it at 11. And I noticed when I started taking over Brandon's channel, I was like, when do you want me to post this stuff that I'm getting? And he said 7. And I'm like, well, maybe when I start mine back up again, really pushing things, I'm going to start pushing things at 7. But I noticed that on Fridays, there's so much stuff. It seems like I'm overloaded with things to watch, but I
Right.
don't know when there's a good day, because you start looking at some of these other times and you don't really want to be in conflict with somebody else's live that you've had interactions with. Oh, so and so's got a live on Tuesday, so I can't do it then. It gets hard to find a time when you don't conflict with
Well,
somebody else.
I don't know if you watched the video that I did with Cliff, but we actually talked about this a little bit because we were specifically talking about Sundays. And I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you've seen the Sunday lineup, but there's shows all day long by all sorts of different people. And he basically just said, screw it, do it when it ever fits your schedule, which kind of goes with what JSS said. You got to make it work for you and your family and all that. So um, don't worry about what's out there, because the other part of it is that YouTube is your DVR. So if you missed it on the live, you can catch it on the replay.
That's true. That's
So,
true.
and as long as you're doing evergreen content, then it's not as pertinent that it is right now. So like granted, I would love to have 100 people in here watching us talk about YouTube right now. That'd be great, and it be in the know. But this can also be relevant 6 months from now when somebody's saying, like, what do I need to do about starting a comic book YouTube channel? Well, then go to
Mhm.
Comic Channel Origins and see what Mr. Akin said about how to start his comic book YouTube channel. So, I mean, that's the whole idea of
Yeah.
that. So I'm just putting it out there. I mean, other shows are going on right now, but somebody might catch this later on.
And I think one of your questions said, how do you go with what the algorithm wants and what you want to do? I just do what I want to do. If I want to
Yeah.
do it, I'm going to do it because, again, like I said a while ago, it's supposed to be fun. And sometimes I like doing research and learning more about some of these characters. Like since I've been working with Brandon on his channel, I'm working on a video for his. It's really, I've been delving into a lot of Man Thing. I've read a little bit about Man Thing, but I'm learning a lot more about the character because I was going to do a video about Man Thing, some aspect of it, whatever that aspect may be, because I'm learning a lot of stuff and I'm seeing a lot of people out there have really good informational videos about it. But I'm going to try to find a niche in there somewhere to fit some stuff in that somebody may not know of, or something this person talked about but this person didn't, kind of
Okay.
things.
All right. So you think does your comic book or what kind of content do you think best performs on your channel? Like, is it the like mail call or your unboxings or AOKs, or is it just talking about the like your top
Really,
five?
with the shorts, it was whatever's topical at the time. Although I've done some other shorts that have thousands of views, and I'm like, why did that one get thousands of views? But really, what's consistent, and I don't get that many views. If I'm getting 100 views on something, I'm like, oh, I got 100 views on something. That's a lot for me. If I get to 200 later on, but if I get 100 within that couple day period, I'm like, oh, that one did really well. And if I've looked back, and it seems to be top 10, and it's usually linked with Alan, the comic collector geeks top 10,
Okay.
because other people are participating, and so other people are participating and they're wanting to see what you've done. So he's got kind of a large following. So in a sense, I'm tagging, getting in his trail of, hey, here's a top 10, do this top 10. And I can catch it with that. But I don't always do those. And the reason I don't always do those is I
Time.
want to make sure that the comics fit in his top 10.
Right.
And it destroys my collection. I start going through stuff and pulling stuff out, and then I got stuff all strode out everywhere. And I'm like, oh, I got to put this stuff back up, back in the right spot. So that's what really stops me from doing his top 10. I do enjoy it. It's that I've got to find the time. And I said one time, I see what his top 10 is going to be. I'm going to see if I can't pull the comics out, make the video, and edit it and have it ready to go in 2 hours. And if I can't, then I'm not putting it out. And I've done that. I've started and I've got a timer and I'm like, I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time. And I'm like, I'm not going to make it. And I just stop. Just stop. I'm like, I couldn't do it. It's almost like I can't do it.
Well, in that regard, just why don't you look at or think about just making your a thumbnail or however, make a sort of generic type, moderately reusable thumbnail that you could use, and then just do it as a live.
That's true.
Because then you save your time. You do your live, you cut it, you're done, or you hit start, do it, hit stop, walk away.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea.
Because if they're not watching on the live, it just becomes a video after that.
It just becomes a video after that.
And you can stick your tags in. You can stick your tags in the description and say this is. You can start it off by saying this is Alan the comic hoarder, or the Alan the comic hoarder or investor.
Alan the Comic Collector Geek.
Okay. Alan the Comic Collector Geeks top 10 challenge. Here, and you put his name there, tag it, go and do it, and you're out. And you should get all that done under 2 hours.
Yeah, you should get that done in 2 hours. What I have done, and I've done 2 so far, is topical ones that have to do with a holiday. And
Okay.
look at what he did last year. And then when it rolls around this year, I'm like, oh, here's what his top 10 was last year. Kind of still hook it to the top 10, but I've had plenty of time to edit and go through stuff. And so I did one for Easter, and I've already gotten that one's in the can. So I've got that one ready. So when he does another one next year, when Easter rolls around, I'm like, ooh, I've got one to put out. And it's still a top 10 that goes with his top 10, but it's really the top 10 from last year. And I can talk about it. And I said, hey, here's what he did last year. Here's what I've got for last year. And I kind of go with what he did because it does kind of roll around. He has repeated some of them before in the past.
Okay.
And like you said, that can still be a little bit evergreen when it's a top 10 Christmas covers, top 10 Easter covers, top 10, 4th of July covers or flag covers or things like that. That is kind of evergreen stuff. And plus I can still hook it to kind of what's going on, and in the video I said in 2024, this is what he did, not like last year. It's like, hey, in 2024, here's what his top 10 was, kind of stuff. So it's not like I don't even have to use it this year. I can, actually move it and go, hey, this is just what he did in 2024 as a top 10 this time last year or this time in that, for that year. So it's all about, for me, finding stuff that's evergreen that you can move it around and go, I don't feel like doing a video this week. Let's put it here, and having some stuff in the can. That's really what I'm really working on, is having stuff.
I know that I've learned that if you see somebody, like basically trends too, like if you see somebody has a video that's just popping off and you can do something very similar to it, you can, and if you can get it out there while they're still going up, then YouTube will tag you along to it and suggest you as something to watch afterwards.
Yes.
So,
and I really, other than that Spider-Man 2099, another thing I think would help is if I'm looking in the future and going, hey, this movie's coming out, it has this character in it, do an informational video about that character, the history about that character, put it in the can. When the movie starts, when trailers about the movie and this character, and they start talking about it, and like you said, you start to see it trending. Okay, let me catch the wave and throw it out there during that wave and see if I can't catch that wave and get something going.
Yeah. Well, I think we've already talked about how do you balance what you like to make versus what the algorithm wants. And I think that's been a very consistent answer through all of these, is that just make what you want. Do you really have anything to add to that?
No, like you said, make what you want. If you're looking to get some more subscribers, what we said there, try to catch waves, try to catch trends, and be consistent.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, everybody has their little niche. I think let's talk about Alan the Comic Collector Geek. He's a golden age collector, and so he's getting people that are interested in golden age stuff. While comic book investments, people that are wanting to invest in comics or wondering about the money aspect of it, or what's my comics worth, they're going to be going to him. Lunch Money Comics, if you want the fantasy of, if you like travel videos and like, oh, I wish I could go to Italy. Oh, I wish I could go to Japan. Oh, I wish I could find comics like he does in those areas. That's the people that are watching that. I mean, he's got, of course, the charisma and the camera presence, but it's a fantasy to go all these places that he's going. strange and unusual places, and see him going through all these comics and seeing all these comics that he's able to find. Like you and me, we don't have a bunch of comic book shops around here, not like they do in the Northeast, where you got all these spots and you can do some digging. Oh, look what I found for $5. We're lucky. I've got one comic book shop, although he now has split into two. He's got a new store in Daphne now, but it's still the same guy. It's still the same stuff. Now, I don't know. I didn't get a chance to ask him before he opened up this new store, but he's got tons of dollar bin stuff that's just, he says, I got a storage units and I got stuff at my house and I got stuff under here. He said, I almost need to open up another store just to store this stuff. And I kind of wanted to go through some of that stuff that he hasn't cataloged yet, just to see, what was in there. But I mean, that's the reason you're watching Lunch Money. If you're watching still only 35 cents, I think he's done a great job of editing and finding unique things to collect, like toilet paper of all things, like his one of his videos. I haven't watched the one he put out today about what's the real story with Howard the Duck and Man Thing. He always seems to come up with some really neat things that are in the collector sphere, because he's even talked about collecting role-playing books and things like that, and where he found them at, and the history.
He gets to travel the world with his job.
Yes. And his editing is just so top notch that I'm always amazed at the quality of his videos and stuff. I'm so glad that Ricky from All Sorts of Words had done this battle of comic book collectors, and he put me and Dave against each other. I'm so glad he did, because I got to know Dave early on when he kind of first started his channel and stuff. And so I'm really fortunate to be able to have that connection to him. Like, oh, I knew you when you first started this. And I think he's phenomenal with his editing and stuff. So again, it's about finding that niche. Are you investment? Are you unboxing? Are you going for out searching for comics, those kind of things? So it's about finding that niche. And I think really mine is just my collection. Hey, here's my collection, but I'm going to try to branch out into some of these other things, like informational things and stuff like that. So just try to.
Yeah, I've tried to make some of my videos have a little different spin on them. I know I've had two that have done fairly well recently, where what did my wife buy me off of Whatnot? Those have done pretty well. I mean, it ended up being like a 35-pound box of comic books that she's gotten a really good deal on. But it's like,
what's actually in that 35-pound box of comics?
Yeah, like I'm in the process of editing one now and cataloging what it is, and I think with shipping and everything, it was $80 or $90 is what you paid, and the value's somewhere over like $500. So it's an interesting, and I'm not done yet, but I mean, so it'll be interesting to get that video completed.
I know you use a lot, or you've delved into the AI aspect of it for thumbnails and things like that. I really haven't done that very much, although I deal with AI a lot at school, because I'm at virtual school, and we're constantly battling it. I really haven't gotten into the AI aspect of editing pictures, editing videos, editing, still images to make them more animated and things like that. But I see that you have delved into it, and I really like some of the stuff that you've done with some of your thumbnails and things like that, although I still like trying to do my own thumbnails kind of thing. So,
well, I mean, one of the reasons why I do it is mainly time aspect. It's like, I mean, I work 50+ hours a week, and so I don't have a lot of the time. And then it's more trying to, a lot of my time for the Daily Show is spent on getting the information all together, which I still do a bad job at that. I'm trying to get better. So then the last thing that I'm trying to put together for that is the thumbnail. So, but I'm trying to, it's all about the packaging, because I mean, it's like 50-50. Your product's got to be good, but the packaging's got to be better to get people to want to click on it to see your product.
Yes.
So, yeah, I have used AI to help with the thumbnails and stuff like that, because it's a lot. I just prompted, say, as a YouTube strategist and SEO expert.
Yeah, it's with AI. It's all about the prompting. It's
Yeah,
you get better and better at prompting it to get it to refine what you want.
and and also different ones have different skill sets and different abilities and
Yes.
restrictions and things like that. Uh, One I just delved into recently is using Gemini, which is Google's AI, which, if you think about it, I think it might actually be one of the best ones to use as a YouTuber,
Mm-hmm.
because it's Google, which is owned by Alphabet, which YouTube is owned by Alphabet. So it kind of works very well
Together.
together. Because Gemini can actually go and watch YouTube videos and stuff like that. So it can actually learn from YouTube, whereas ChatGPT can't,
It can't. It
but
can't.
Gemini can. Also, Gemini's image generator is a lot better than ChatGPT's image generator. Because I don't know if you've seen the last 2 or 3 thumbnails I've done, like with the Peacemaker, those are all
Mhm.
Gemini
Okay.
or Nano Banana, whatever the new thing is. I don't know. I'm still trying to learn all that, but that's all through theirs. So
Is Gemini free at the moment?
yeah, I'm not paying for it.
Right. See,
Yeah,
I use Canva, and Canva has a image generator and things, but the school's paying for it. I use it educationally, but I also have access to it. So sometimes I'm in there, using it to edit my thumbnails and things like that. So that's the primary one I use is Canva to
okay,
uh, to edit my thumbnails. But
right,
still, I'm still going in there and just sometimes using it as a Photoshop type thing where I'm taking other images and dumping it and then dumping things into it, like I've been doing with Mon Comics's thumbnails. I've been taking, just the icons of people and trying to find some scene to put their 2 icons in to get some kind of title to go with it and
right.
stuff. So
Um, so, is there a mistake that you've made that you wish somebody had warned you about?
trying to think of any mistake. Um, Seems like I thought about this and I didn't write it down. There was something, and I'm trying to remember what it was that I said I wish I hadn't have done that.
So
Um,
the mistake is not writing down the notes.
yeah, not writing down the notes, not being well organized in what you're doing. Um, not setting limits so that you don't get burnt out. Because I did get burnt out, when I was really like, okay, I got to make another video, I got to make it, and then it felt like work. So, setting that time limit, and that's the reason I said before about getting stuff and having it in a can. That way, you get an idea of how much time you're going to be spending per week on this.
Right,
Because, like me and everybody else, you've got other hobbies and other things and other obligations that you need to do or handle. And once I see that I got this much time, I would I think having stuff in the can, that way I wouldn't get the burnout type situation. Don't think you can watch everybody's video. I think that's burnt me out more than anything else. I wanted to support other channels, and I was spending more time watching YouTube than I was making stuff to go
right.
on YouTube. And you have to realize that they're not going to take it personally, that you're not watching it every week. Because I was trying to watch stuff people are putting out every week. And then, somebody like Mon Comics, who's done a lot of networking, he'll introduce you to somebody else, and that's in your feed. Well, you've only got so much time per day, and it's about setting boundaries. I wish somebody told me, hey, you need to set some boundaries here and say, if you're spending this much time, that's too much time. Only spend this much time per week, whether it's watching, interacting with YouTube, whatever it is, so that you don't get burnt out, so that you look forward to it. It's something
Right.
that, and don't feel guilty that you can't watch everybody's stuff, because you can't. It's impossible. And I think that's burned me out more than making videos. Is I was trying to watch everybody's stuff and comment on everybody's stuff, and it's impossible. You can't do it.
So what is your process for planning and producing a video from idea to upload?
Here recently, I like having a thumbnail before I do anything. I like writing down an idea. Hey, it's going to be a top 10. And unlike with Allen's, I feel like I've got a week and I've got a short amount of time. This way I can think about it. Like right now, I'm working on the video for 1984. Well, the big thing in 1984 was the Marvel Superhero Secret Wars.
Okay.
So I'm watching other videos about it, and I'm like, what can I do that's different than theirs? And so I'm kind of writing down notes. So I like to have a notepad, write down what I'm going to say and which comic books I'm going to show. Because on that one, I was going to show Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars #1, which I picked up off the rack when I was a kid. But the next comics I was showing is the before and after of that. Meaning when Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars came out, if you were reading the comic book, like you were reading Iron Man, and issue 180, he goes into this arena, and in issue 182, he's back, and the only issue of Secret Wars that you're reading is issue #1. You don't know, stuff has happened, and how did it change the characters once they came,
Right.
it was almost like it was a time bubble, and you saw people come back, and some people didn't come back, because if you look at the Fantastic Four, it was Reed, Johnny, and Ben. They were the ones that went in there because Sue was pregnant at the time. When they come back, Ben's not with them anymore. It's the She-Hulk. She's a member of the Fantastic. Well, how did this happen?
Yeah.
So the books I'm talking about and the things I'm doing is the before and after, because it almost was immediate. So for me, it's writing some stuff down. What are you going to talk about? Having an idea of what you're going to talk about, whether or not you're going to do it with your face or do it Jambo style like I'm doing it. I feel like you got to have an idea of what you're going to talk about each one of those books, especially if you're holding it up and you're talking about it. You got to have some bullet points. I used to put bullet points behind the thing and just look at them, go, oh, make sure you talk about 1, 2, and 3. And
You need to get one of these.
Yep.
They're only like $30 off of Amazon.
So my process is just getting an idea. I like to make a thumbnail. I've gotten to really where I really like making thumbnails, or I'm getting into like you were saying, what's the best title? What's going to get people to come to the video? And once I write it down, I've got some ideas. I go and collect the books, get the books ready, set the camera up, think about what I'm going to, another thing I do is I do the intro and I do the outro. And then the other part is done whenever, because I can separate it into 2 days. Like I can do the beginning and if I'm not showing my face, I can do the beginning and the end, because I know what I'm going to be talking about. And then the meat of it can be filmed whenever, like, okay, I want to do my intro. Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Eggins. Welcome to What's on the Comic Rack. And then what I'm going to say at the end, or show the books, all of them at one time. And then I dump that parts into iMovie. And now the meat of it, I got plenty of time to do that. if I get interrupted or I have to go do something, it's not like I'm under any time constraints to show the book and talk about it. And then, oh, I got interrupted and I don't have, now it's the next day. I'm wearing a different shirt, kind of thing. It doesn't matter because you don't see me. You see the book. So that's another thing I do is I do the intro and the outro all at one time and have that in the thing. So right now in my iMovie, I have like 4 things started with an intro and an outro. And the one thing now I have to do is film the meat of it and put it in there and dump it in that spot.
Now, one thing I've learned especially on the intro is like, where I'm trying to do myself is not to introduce myself as much or say welcome in. It's like, because people in this TikTok age, people have very limited attention span. They don't care about who you are; they're caring about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I try to jump past that intro part to say what it is, and then a little bit later I'll say, "Oh, by the way, I'm Brian."
I think I also do it because a lot of times it's, a live interview is much easier to me because you're talking with somebody. If it's just me down here and I'm talking to the camera, it's more difficult. There's nobody here. I find that more difficult. And I find if I have that same phrase to start off with, it gets me going. Right. I don't have to think, and then it gets me rolling and I can go from there. And it's kind of short, but you're right. Like any show, you've got to catch those people right there at the very beginning. You got to get that intro out and you got to hook them somehow in there. And I think one of the best people that does that is Colossus Collector with his little skits. And that kind of gets people in to watch the rest of the video because he's got, and that's another thing that somebody said. If you've got a reoccurring character, his reoccurring character is the wallet. If you got a reoccurring character, people know and they've been watching, they kind of know about this. Oh, what's the wallet going to be up to, this week? I thought about using a reoccurring character that me and Dave from Still 35 Cents, when we were battling doing that comic book wrestling competition thing, and I had a mask on and I was like the Rack. I thought about using him in more videos, using that character as, something that comes up. Like I know one other YouTuber, he has this reoccurring character that comes up, and that's the character that comes up and tells you to like, comment, and subscribe. I thought about, hey, maybe the Rack needs to be the guy that's really intense, coming at the camera going, you need to like, comment, and subscribe, kind of thing, just to put something breaking up. Because I know, like you said, with the TikTok people, it's almost got to be really cut fast, move to the next thing kind of thing. If it's long and drawn out, you're going to lose their attention and they're going to move on to the next thing.
So how do you engage, or next question for you is your community, how do you engage with them? Is it mostly on Instagram or do you use the community tab at all on YouTube?
I use it every once in a while, but it's primarily Instagram. That's how I reach out to people. I'm sure you are in like groups.
Yeah.
We've got one I know that both of us are in, the Southeastern group.
Yeah.
That's a great way to connect with people. The only thing I have problems with the groups is that sometimes there's too much stuff going on and I can't keep up with everything, especially if you're in more than one. I'm in more than one. And it seems like there's a lot of stuff. So a lot of times I like talking to somebody individually. And if I send you a message or something, I'm not expecting you to even answer it that day, but I'm using Instagram to really communicate with people about things. So
I wish, speaking of community, I wish YouTube had a option or a tool out there that would allow you to see like how many comic book YouTube channels there were, like a lineup or a TV guide for, I might be showing my age, but a TV guide type thing that says, these are all the YouTubers that are talking about comic books and here's their schedule.
Yeah, that would be. And I can't believe that YouTube doesn't have those analytics. I don't know. Do you think Chat GPT? Well, do you think now Gemini could give you something like that if you ask for it, since it's kind of linked into YouTube? Do you think it has that kind of information?
Well, I can tell you that on the free, okay, just I did some research and
Okay.
I used Gemini and I used the free deep research function that I had on there and I put in there, give me the research and details about what's on the comic rack
Uh-huh.
YouTube channel, and it went deep. It had
Really?
it had a lot of analytics and stuff.
Okay.
So
So that's kind of what you were saying before about our analytics are a lot alike.
well, I mean, that's where I got some of that information about like it says you've done like 500 videos and you've
Mhm.
done, but that does include shorts and all that. So,
Right.
I mean, video, and that you have like 540 subscribers and things like that. It didn't go into your watch hours. I didn't see that, but it gave me a lot more information than I was even asking for. Because I was just trying to get information to write a bio
Hmm.
or a description to put in the video, which may only needs to be a couple of sentences. So I didn't need like a dissertation on what's on the Comic Racks YouTube channel.
You didn't prompt it to just make this 3, 4 sentences. Don't make
I was just looking for general information and it gave me
right.
a book.
Mhm.
But I mean, I haven't tried what you just said about asking what YouTube channels are out there that are about comic books. It might give me a list. I'll check that out.
And they see, now I'm interested. I'm probably going to do it myself just to see, because I'm really interested in how many there are out there, because it seems like I find new ones every day.
Yeah. I'd say
And
the closest thing we have out there to that right now would be the CB or the CBC Awards, and just the finalist list or the people that were nominated on that. That would probably be the closest.
that would be the closest. And I've I found 3 that weren't on there just this couple of weeks ago, because the algorithm will feed you stuff.
Right.
And there were 3 on there that I'd never seen before, and they were new ones. And a lot of them have gotten a lot more, subscribers. But I know why 2 of them did, because they have attractive females on there, and we all know, what sells, and so that's the reason they were getting. But then the other guy was a guy, and I'm like, okay, he's getting a lot of views. Let me see what his channel is about, because it's not even a year old. And I can't even think of the name of his channel now. I know his name is EQ. And I've been trying to interact with him a little bit, in the chat.
Right.
But I think it was in 90 days or 2 or 3 months, he got over 1,000 subs. I'm like, okay, what are you doing to get 1,000 subs? Have you promoted? Because I know you can promote, and that's going to send you a bunch of subs. But the subs it's going to send you is, through my research, is everybody that's on YouTube has a YouTube channel, and a lot of people don't realize that. Like, my wife has a YouTube channel. She doesn't realize that if you use YouTube, it assigns you a channel. If you got an email address,
Yeah.
especially a Gmail address, you've been assigned one. So what I found is that YouTube will take those people that aren't that active and dump them into your subs. That's the reason when you go in there, sometimes you're like, how did I get subscribed to this? It's the promotion button that you're paying for is taking these people right here and assigning you
Okay.
those people. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's how that works. And this is how I'm getting YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to, that I never subscribed to this. I don't watch, fishing videos. How did I get, this person's, YouTube? Why am I subscribed to his stuff? So if you
Yeah.
look through your subscriptions, you'll see stuff in there like, why in the world did I subscribe to this? And you probably didn't. YouTube assigned it to somebody, because
Okay.
of the promote button.
All right. So next question for you is, and I think we've covered a little bit of this so far, but what tools, gear, or apps have made the biggest difference in your growth?
You know, the biggest issue I had was my sound. My sound was horrible for a long time. That's because I was using the school issued MacBook, and the
Okay.
microphone on that is horrible. And I got a, what is this, a Logitech camera. And it's
Yeah.
just, I just, again, did a little bit of research, said, hey, what's a cheap camera that YouTubers use? And they gave me this, and it was less than $100. And I think it does really well.
Mhm.
Um,
I mean, that's what I'm using, a Logitech or a Logi or
Logi.
LOGI. Yeah.
Yep. And the sound quality is infinitely better on that.
Just don't hold
And
a book in front of you.
do I hold a book in front of me?
Yeah. Don't be behind the book and try to talk.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it is a little bit muffled. So,
It's because it's got those two things on it. Now,
yeah.
I did buy what I film my long form videos with, and I still haven't figured out how to stream with it because it's got a much better microphone on it. That one is actually a school issued camera that I take back and forth,
Okay.
and I use it, and to me it does, the quality of my videos just was tremendous because I was looking at my older video, that my very first one. I'm like, man, this thing is grainy. It really wasn't. A lot of people look back and they look at themselves and they see how they were acting or how they were talking in their video. I
Right.
was looking back and I was saying the sound is horrible, the video quality is horrible. So this little Logitech it was a big game changer. Um, just simple iMovie, some type of cheap um, editing software, whatever it is. And so my computer already had iMovie on there, so I used it a lot. And it's limited. Once you get in it and you start doing it, you realize that there's limits to it, but there's still a lot you can do with it.
I know that some of the editing things I've done, I've used CapCut and I've used Microsoft Clipchamp, and they both have a feature in it where it does auto cutting,
Mhm.
where it can go in, actually create the transcript, or it'll go through and listen to the whole thing, and then it gives you the option to cut out all the gaps or pauses, so you can
Yes.
cut out the big stuff really quick. But the other benefit to that is that it gives you the transcript. And the way I've been using that is I'll copy that and take that over to chat
Yep.
and put it in there and say, hey, this is my video. Give me title ideas and things like that based upon what I actually said.
Mhm.
And so it will give me choices of video or titles that I can use based upon what I prompted to do. So
I've
it,
I've used CapCut before, yes, to
So I
make
mean
sure.
that's been a pretty handy little feature, or a little trick that I've been using. So
Um, Here recently, the newest thing that I've tried is Bigby McFly sent me, and you were the first, the collaborate thing.
okay, yeah.
So I guess what that's going to do is it promotes this on my channel in a sense.
When this video processes,
Hmm.
once it's done processing, it will be in your collaboration tab on your channel. So it will be available to your subscribers to see, and also mine to see. And so, say I have somebody that is subscribed to my channel, but they're not subscribed to yours, they'll
Hmm.
have the option to hit the subscribe button, and they'll become a subscriber of yours also, and vice
Okay.
versa. So,
Okay.
and
Because go ahead.
I know that they now have a feature also, but I think it's more for vertical video that you can do, or it's about to come out, where you can do go live together, where if we had that feature in place, which would be really nice if they did it like this, but it would be live on your channel and my channel at the same time, going to each of our group of subscribers, or
Hmm.
out to our feeds, and then it would be out there.
Now I know. Bigby McFly and the Bronze Age Nerd do Best Coast Comics on
Okay.
Monday nights, and they're somehow showing that on all their channels. I'm not sure how they're doing that.
I think that is actually done through StreamYard or whatever feature they're using. I know that like with Restream, which we're using here, if I had the
Mhm.
paid platform, I could have co-hosts and things like that. So it's then being fed to their channel also. And like the Council of Comics, I don't know if you've seen,
Yes,
like
they do it. Yeah.
they're all like I think they come together and they all pay for their StreamYard service, combine it together or something like that, and they're all co-hosts to that channel. So like when the council's on and Cliff's on, it'll show that Cliff's live over here, but he's really live on the Council of Comics one. So,
Yeah.
and I think all the chats go together into one big chat, but if they
Okay.
do a giveaway or a hashtag thing, it's only
Mhm.
on the main accounts one where the hashtag grabber will pull the hashtag information from, is something that I've learned.
Now, I've been on other people's lives and given stuff away, but I've never been on a live with me to give stuff away. Like 22 does with the hashtag, and then he runs it, picks
Yeah.
somebody. I've been on Nate's channel. I would think me and Nate from Hall Yeah did maybe 2 or 3 videos where we're just giving stuff away, and I just haven't done that on mine very often. And that was another thing that once I get going again and start pushing out, I was going to start doing some more giveaways because I've got stuff from, like you said, from that collection that somebody may want.
Right.
It's pennies on the dollar for me. I've read most of them now. Pass it along to somebody else. They may want it.
All right. So, all right, last question for you. It's going to be the hardest
Okay.
one. What advice would you give to someone that's wanting to start a comic book YouTube channel today?
I think, like I've reiterated a lot, make some videos, have them in the can, edit them before you actually post your first one. See how much time it's going to take you to make a video. Allot that time during the week to say, hey, this is when I'm going to make my videos, and don't overextend yourself with too many lives or too much stuff so you don't get burnt out. Just say, hey, this is Tuesday night. It's going to be my night to do a live, and Wednesday afternoon for 2 hours is when I'm going to work on my videos. And if you get enough in the can, if you're working every Wednesday, you're still going to have stuff to put out there and be consistent, because that's the most important thing for YouTube, is to be consistent. Especially if you get a following, they're going to be wanting that stuff whenever it's coming out, whether it's Friday or Monday or whatever. They're going to be like, ooh, when's so and so going to make his next video? And so that would be my advice. Have some, have some in the can, have some boundaries on time, and don't get that way you don't get burnt out. Still makes it fun, because that's what it's really, for me, it's about just making some fun videos. And if I want to be honest, I want to get to 1,000, but the only reason I really make videos is I feel like I'm part of the video making community. It's allowed me to meet a lot of these people. When I went to Heroes Con, when I went to Terrificon, I was able to meet a lot of these people because you kind of know them. And so when you meet up with them, it's not somebody you don't already kind of know. You've
Right.
interacted with them on lives. Now you just jump right into it. It seems like when I went to Heroes Con, people I had never met before, we just walk up and say, hey, well, what about that? It's not like, hey, how you doing? You're just right into it. So just being part of the community, I just like being part of the community. And that's the main reason I'm still making these videos is that.
Well, I haven't, right now, I haven't followed your advice completely. I'm still like probably overloading myself, especially with the daily show that I'm doing, but I am having fun with it, but it is a lot of work. But I'm going to try to do, I've actually done over probably close to 40 videos on it so far. So 40
Yes.
days straight.
Yeah.
it's a lot, but I mean, I've learned stuff on how to do things. I'm still trying to learn my prep process.
Uh-huh.
I can tell you that I'm a lot less stressed out about hitting that go live button. I mean, I've gotten way over that. I mean, it's like go live, okay, da 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 da.
Right.
So I'm past that being a little bit, oh, I don't know what I'm going to say thing or talk. I'll do it now. Got no fear of that, but just the prep work. It is a lot of work to actually prep it in the first place. So
Yes.
the going
Um,
the going live part is the easy part.
I'm more stressful when I'm in control of the live. If I'm on a live, I don't feel like there's any stress on my part at all. You know, if my and it's always about I'm scared my Wi-Fi is going to go out. I'm surprised it hadn't gone out because we've been going for we've been going for an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised it hadn't gone out at some point in time. It usually does with me, but I'm
Well,
glad it hadn't.
no. Going forward when you do actually host your own live, plug into the router.
Okay, that's what I'm
Well,
going to do. I'm going to
it'll
plug
help.
directly
That's
into
my
the.
advice for this show. If you don't take away anything else, just plug your router into your computer.
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to share with or let us know about what's coming up, what's on the comic rack? Or do
There's
you have
really
anything ready to come out of the can yet? Or
no, not yet. I've been really working on Mom Comics' stuff. So check
okay,
out Mom Comics' stuff. That has a little bit of my stuff in it. I know we have videos all the way up until the 31st. There we go. All the way up until the 31st of October. People have been sending me videos. So if anybody's watching this and they would like to make a video to put on Mon Comics' channel, send me a message on IG, on Instagram, and I'll show you how we've been doing it. We've been using a Google Drive. People have been dumping it into the Google Drive, and then I've been taking it, uploading it to his channel, you know, making usually a thumbnail. If they wanted to make a thumbnail, some people have. I know Uncanny Derek Comics made his own thumbnail, but if you don't, I'll make you a thumbnail. The only thing you have to do is make a video just to keep his channel going. So really, I've been focusing more on his channel than mine. I don't really have anything in the can. Maybe I need to do something really short. I know Dope Comics does ones that are, 3 minutes, 5 minutes long. That's nothing. So maybe I need to do that just to, hey, here's a couple books, keep things rolling until I get all these other, these series that I want to do
go
finished
buy
and
go buy a
ready.
couple of. Here's a callback. Go buy a couple of Ollie's packs.
Well, yeah, Monday I'm gonna go and we'll see what I get in there. I mean, I've got books to show off. Sometimes I just don't do it. I've a lot of family obligations have made it to where I don't have as much time. And that's the reason, like with this one, I had to schedule it way out. I knew that this is the time frame that I would have to do this. That's the reason I think the first time you suggested, I'm like, no, I'm not going to be able to do it. Can we push it back to then? Because I know I can write that on the calendar in there, and I can say it to everybody, hey, I'm going to be here doing this, and don't bother me.
All right. Well, but if you haven't already, please subscribe to Mr. Akin. Let's get him to 1,000 subscribers before he loses all his hair or something like that. I don't have. I got a couple of ones in the can that I gotta get out. That one about what my wife bought me and whatnot.
Mhm.
I gotta finish that one and get it out. I am on vacation this week, so that might happen this week.
Okay.
I am doing my daily shows for Comic Issues Daily, where we got the news from the previous day. So about comic books, some reviews, some opinions, editorials, and industry stuff. So check that out. Happens roughly around 6:45 every morning Central Time. Be a little bit later since I'm on vacation. Want to sleep a little bit later. And then next Sunday, I have on Comic Channel Origins, I am interviewing Lunch Money Comics.
That's
So
right.
please be here for that. Comic Channel Origins with Lunch Money Comics. And that's about all that I have coming up on my channel, which right now it's enough.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So Mr. Akin, thank you for being here tonight. And
Thank you for inviting
sharing
me.
your comic channel origins with us. And thank you all for watching. And let me show you your my thumbnail that I made for you.
Nice.
Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Good night.
Bye.